Alright, you guys, welcome to Monday Motivation. We are hanging out today, and I'm just going to preface this video that it may be one of three things. One, the craziest Monday motivational video you've ever seen. Two, the most honest, and I pride myself in being really honest. So, the most honest Monday motivation video you've ever seen. And three, I don't know if I remember my reason three. The most in-your-face video, tough love, I guess, is what I'm trying to do here. And just let me, again, preface that I'm going to be really honest. And so if you have kiddos who are maybe under this age of 8 or 9, they should probably leave the room. I'm not going to be cussing or anything crazy like that, but I feel like this is geared more towards a older audience, a more mature audience. So with that being said, first and foremost, I never know really exactly what I'm going to say when I turn the camera on. I just like to speak from my heart to you guys. And today I have felt very, very inspired with sharing with this just because of it originated from one of my Instagram posts, as well as I've had a lot of comments of people asking me, Carly, let's talk about body confidence and how you stay so confident, and are you confident with your body, and how do you get over those insecurities and those struggles? And first and foremost, I would just like to say I don't have the answers to those. That is probably my number one thing that I struggle with, and I, on a daily basis, have to really just try to love myself. And haters, debaters, all you antagonistic people out there who are going to say something against me or in the comments, please hear me out through this whole video before you start attacking me, before you start saying, well, Carly, you're the one who da-da-da-da-da. Okay, because please know this, I am my toughest critic. I will call myself out and put myself down before anybody else could even see that I'm doing something wrong, and I would rather be like, oh, I'm sorry, it was my fault, rather than playing the victim. So if you think that I'm one of those girls who's like, I'm perfect and I live in this fantasy world where I can tell everybody what I think, but no, I can't stand people like that. I can't stand when people tell me what to do. So I make sure I feel like I'm always living with a mirror in front of my face, where I'm always really looking at myself and being like, Carly, how can you get better? Carly, are you being that person? So all you hater, debater, whatever, you guys trolls, please just hear me out before you leave your comments, and then if you want to say what you're going to say it. It's a free world. So, body confidence, insecurities, struggles with really loving who we are. We all have something about our bodies, about ourselves, that we don't love. And the hardest thing that I think is to really gain the full perspective, because nobody lives their life perfectly. Nobody lives every single day with the perspective of, well, it's not the physical that counts, and you know, I should focus on more about being a good person, and like, whatever, get off your unicorn and your rainbows and fart in your butterflies. I mean, nobody lives that way. Some days we're self-centered human beings, and that is okay to have days like that. I will admit I'm the queen of selfies, and days I feel like my makeup looks good, or I just need a little boost, or whatever. I will admit it. I have no shame in doing that. We post selfies. We fish for compliments. We act a certain way because sometimes we just need somebody to be like, you know what, you are valued, you're beautiful, you matter in this world, and I care about you. And so here is my speech about being insecure. If we stood a Victoria's Secret model right here, or Steve Cook, my boyfriend, who physically you're like, wow, if you put them standing right here side by side, guarantee they would say something about their bodies, or even one of you YouTuber haters would say something negative about them. Nobody in this life is perfect. Nobody is even close to being perfect, or nobody out there in the world that just totally loves themselves physically, emotionally, spiritually. If you do, leave comments below on how you've gotten to that place in your life, and I salute you, because that must be a very peaceful place to live. Again, this is probably the most honest I'm ever going to be, so if I get emotional, just hang in there with me. But everybody has body insecurities. I don't promote love your body, love your workout, love who you are because I'm the #1 world's best at it. I promote it because it's something that I'm struggling with, and I want to have an army behind me, and not behind me, but in line with me, so that we can be like, hey, we're doing all right. We're gonna get through this. And I do the things that I do because I know that I'm struggling with them, and I'm honest. I'm a raw, vulnerable, wear my heart on my sleeve person who will tell you how it is 24/7 all the time. I am loyal, but I am honest, and I will always be that way because of what I've been through, how I was raised, and just what resonates with me as a person. And so if you ever feel like I'm judging, it's probably because I'm holding that within me, and I'm being like, Carly, are you being that person? So body confidence, you know, all through high school, I was probably maybe like 100 and 110 pounds, but I never ever just felt like I was that hot girl. I just never felt that way about myself. And I don't think it was my parents' fault, but I just wasn't raised to be this like super confident, like be in love with your body type of person. It was, my family's standpoint was more about, you know, you walk in a room with your head held high because you're a good person, you have good morals, and you know who you are. And that's something that I really like held in my heart. And so when I went to college and kind of got into those years of, I'm 18, I'm 19, these friends are not like the friends I had in high school, these are not the things that I'm doing that I did in high school. Like, you know, you're opened up to kind of the real world mentality, and you see things for how they are. You know, I was on a cheerleading team with 14 other girls, and they are all super tiny. I suffered from an eating disorder. I wouldn't really claim it was like an eating disorder. I mean, I think there's levels and variations of it, but I definitely was unhealthy emotionally because I felt like if I gotta fit in with these girls, I've got to be as skinny as them. So I wouldn't eat, and then if I did, I would eat so much then I would go throw up. I would throw up in the shower when my roommates were there because I didn't want them to hear me. And like, I remember there were times I would like knew I hit an all-time low, and I was like shoving food down the drain in our shower, like this grate. I was trying to get my food to go in there through there, and I remember my roommate walked in one time and just was like so upset with me. She's like, you know, you're a better person than this. And that's when I started wrapping my head around just health in general, and that you can't live like that because it wasn't healthy. I had no energy. I was hard to be around. I couldn't cheer because I just was lifeless. I had literally no life in me because I was constantly binging and purging, and then all I wanted to do was sleep, and I was freezing all the time, and it was very miserable. And that's when I was like, you know what, like, I am not this person. Carly Butler is a happy person. I love to make people laugh. And when that happened, when I started neglecting myself because I didn't love myself, I wasn't taking care of myself, I just was drained from that person that I am and that spirit that I have. And I just realized that health and fitness is really just about loving your body and taking care of it. Whether you are a size 10 or a size 0, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you love who you are and you've accepted it. From perfection to flaw, you look at yourself and you say, I matter, I'm enough, and I'm valued. No matter what anybody has ever said to you or how anybody has ever treated you. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you really learn just to embrace yourself and take yourself in for every single bit and piece and person that you are, because you're never going to get anything else. And so you might as well start enjoying who you are. I have a really good friend who's going through cancer right now, and some days where I'm feeling down on myself or my body, I'm like, oh wow, I don't have a six-pack, I have cellulite on my legs, oh, I have this or I have that there. I think about this poor girl who is literally, physically and literally fighting for her life. And I think, wow, how am I so unselfish? All that I should care about is my health. You know, but we're humans, and it's natural to go through that up and down of insecurity and, okay, we'll get back on track, you know, be positive, be healthy. So in both aspects, you have to really, honestly, the key in life is a balance. You can't beat yourself up if you're being negative about yourself, and you can't be like, oh, I'm a selfish person. Use that as a positive reinforcement to really just kind of flip, like I said, like a mirror's in front of you, and evaluate how you're feeling and what you're going through, and just kind of ask yourself, you know, is this healthy? Because the strongest and most important muscle on our bodies is what? It's our heart. It's not our abs, it's not our biceps, it's not our butts or whatever else that we may think physically. All that matters is our heart and how we use it. And our heart can be controlled for cardio. It can be controlled through emotional, through spiritual, through well-being. And so honestly, in all aspects, the heart maintains the balance of fitness. And that is so key to remember, and just, you know, really embracing everything for what it is and making the very best of it. If you're feeling guilty when you're watching this video, like, oh, I should try harder, tough love, but maybe you should. Maybe you shouldn't eat a pizza and cookies and ice cream and this and that day in and day out and lay on the couch and look at pictures of people on Instagram like, oh, I wish I looked like them, I wish I looked like them. You've got to do your part, and you've got to work hard to feel good about yourself. And if that just means getting up and going on a 10-minute walk and that's all you can do, that's all you can do. And you know what? That's better than doing nothing. But getting back to loving yourself and insecurities, it's really, really hard. I went through a terrible, terrible marriage. It was so up and down. I was young and he was older and just probably didn't want to deal with me being so young and trying to figure things out. But I really grasped and held on to his opinion of me, and that's all that mattered. And I kind of just, you know, I had just gotten out of college, kind of was over the eating disorder thing, but it was still something that I toyed with. And so I was in an emotional, unhealthy state. And, you know, we got married, and then I found out I was going to have Cooper, and that's when I was like, you know, I really got to take care of my body. I have this little boy that I need to have a home for, and that's all that mattered was in that moment. But when I got pregnant, I was like 97, 98 pounds. I was really, really little. And then I gained like 70 pounds because my body was like, what? Food? I want it. I'm going to eat it. And I was like literally eating cheese hot dogs and Laffy Taffy for breakfast. No big deal. And like a big Coke. And I was like, I'm pregnant. I can eat whatever I want. Which you can when you're pregnant. But again, it's about a balance and moderation and health. And so my belly and everything else just, oh my gosh, my boobs were so big. They were like almost G's, I swear. I remember Shay was just always like, it's awkward to be around you because your boobs are so big. And I was like, I know, it's cheese hot dogs are just like awesome. Like every part of me, my arms were just like straight from the shoulder to the wrist, just solid straight like tubes because I just got so big and swollen. So because of that, because I wasn't keeping the balance and, you know, eating a cheese hot dog here but working out, I literally worked out maybe twice during my pregnancy. And I think the second time I worked out, I was like 7 months pregnant, had this like huge belly, and I was like, I'm gonna do sit-ups. It's like, who does sit-ups when you're 7 months pregnant? Like, what are you gonna sit up with? Like, I was a lost mess, we'll say that. And I can be honest with myself because I'm about being honest. But I remember after having Cooper, if you've never had a baby and after you have your first baby, do me a favor. Do not look at your body naked for like the next 3 days. Just because I know we're all about embracing and loving ourselves, but you are used to seeing this tight belly and it's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And then after you have that baby, you look down and you're like, where is that baby? And your belly's still there. And it's just like your hormones have dropped and you're going through postpartum and you're just like, oh, what is this? It's like the most awful thing. It's women, we go through hard stuff. I mean, it is a blessing and it is the greatest joy. Please don't be like, Carly, but it's beautiful and it's a miracle. Of course, I know that. I know that I want to trade it for a world. But let's all be honest for a second. It's hard and it's emotionally in a roller coaster. But I remember, and I'm not trying to call him out or be rude, but I remember one time my ex was like, do you think that you're ever going to look like you looked before you had Cooper? And I just remember being like, yeah, I'm sure I'll get there. But what I was saying is emotionally, I wasn't healthy. I wasn't in a state to love myself and take care of myself for me. I latched onto what he thought of me. And so after I had Cooper, I was still like, who am I now? I'm a mom now. My body has changed. My hips have moved. I have these huge boobs full of milk. I could feed like a whole tribe, I swear, of kids. They were like just big boobs. And I hate saying this word. It makes me like gag every time, and every time I say it out loud, I don't know why it's so hard for me. I got stretch marks. It's the silliest thing, but I feel like I'm the only person in the whole world who has them, I swear, and it's so hard for me because it's like no matter how hard I work or no matter how much weight I lose, I'll always have them. They'll always be there. And I know people are saying, oh, it's a reminder of having Cooper, but the emotional state that I was in after I had Cooper and how my ex treated me and the things he said and just feeling super like you want to feel good about yourself, but it's hard when you just don't look the same no matter what you do. That's really hard. That's really hard to go through, and it's hard to learn to love the new you. And so today on Instagram, I get really overwhelmed sometimes trying to do it all, you know, be a single mom and keep myself looking good. I have this boyfriend that's like untouchably good looking. And, you know, I want to be good looking for him. I want to be sexy and I want him to be proud of me, and I want to take care of myself and be healthy and keep that balance and not focus too much on the physical or the spiritual, but you know, just really maintain the balance of everything. And I'm like, here he is around these girls all the time who like have the perkiest boobs and the buffest arms and 10% body fat and these abs and these butts, and it's just like, I'm a mom, you know, and I work out and I try to take care of myself, but I will never look like these girls look. And sometimes it is really, really hard to keep the peace and to keep the war in your head from not letting other influences come in and talk you out of who you are. And today, this year, I was like, my goal for 2014 is really honestly like living what I preach, and that's just learning to accept yourself and love yourself. Stretch marks, extra weight, thin hair, if you're going bald, if you don't have a six-pack, whatever it is, just loving who you are no matter what, and just embracing that with all that you have and hanging on to it and just giving that to the world, because that's all you have to give. And so I just felt like this past month, Cooper and I have gone through some huge changes. It's been really difficult. Anyways, I'm pretty sure you guys have been hanging in there for 60 minutes. I've been rambling about all of the things because my camera was like, whoa, we're out of space. So I know I've been talking your ear off. But most importantly, I wanted just to let you guys know that like we've all gone through our struggles. You can look at the most beautiful women or the most beautiful men physically, aesthetically, whatever, but I guarantee you they've gone through their own struggles. They have their own insecurities. I know I've gone through my shares and my doubts, and I still go through them. And you know, my only plea and my only hope would just really to love a little bit more. Nobody ever knows what anybody else is going through, and just because you look at somebody that has a great body or a great whatever, or you think that they are better than you, quote unquote, you never know their struggle or, you know, the things that are going on in their head. And I posted something on Instagram today that said the classiest of women, or it takes something about to the effect of real classy women don't have to expose it all. They know they're classy enough to keep it in or something to that effect. Go check out on my Instagram. Don't be paid though. And I had a plethora of reactions and comments. Anywhere from I'm proud of you for posting this, but Carly, you're really risque and you post inappropriate pictures, and Carly, you're body shaming women, and people calling me jealous, and people calling me insecure, and people telling me to find my way in the world. And you know, all I meant by that whole post was I have fallen into the category and if you go and read my post, underneath the picture, my own personal thoughts on the comment of the picture, I said I know I'm guilty of falling into the trap of wanting to feel sexy and beautiful and accepted. And when you work your ass off in the gym and you diet and you do all that you can to lose weight and to feel good and to feel like you're physically on track, sometimes it's hard not to want to show that off and to show that progress. And I do think that there is a fine line of progress pics and inspiring other people to, yeah, this is my vagina hole, this is where a baby comes out of, these are my nipples, they're showing. Because please, I follow so many fitness Instagram accounts, I can't even stand it, of girls like holding a 5-pound weight in a thong with their ass just hanging out, being like, oh yeah, I'm working out. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not working out. You are there like please just don't send that message to the world. It is so frustrating, and it is so hard as a woman to have a man that I want to stay dedicated to me and to stay faithful, or vice versa. For that, just that to be out on the internet, and it's not even that I'm looking for. I'm following these fitness accounts for inspiration or somewhere to turn to, and I see these girls with, like, literally and this is what sparked the whole thing. I saw this video of this girl, she's trying to inspire people to work out, and she says that, you know, drives me crazy. But every post is it's like sexual. It's not her being like in a tank top or a sports bra being like, look at my progress. It's like her bending over a machine with her like butt out and her back arched and her hair is down and messy, and she has this face, and she has like a cut bra on where you can like almost see everything. And it's like, I'm not judging her. I'm not calling her a slut or a whore or saying she does any of these things. I'm just saying, look at what you're putting out for the whole world to see. You have one body, and this is what I believe. These are my virtues and my morals and my standards, and by any means I'm not meaning to push them on anybody or to ask you to accept them or even understand them. Just hear me out as a person. I just don't think that it's healthy to expose everything you have. I'm not ashamed of my body. I know God has given me a body with the same parts that she has. Do I feel the need to post things and to expose things that are like, that make you feel a certain way when you look at that picture? No. Have I been guilty of wearing a tight dress or a low-cut shirt or short shorts or feeling proud of myself after a good workout and I like am doing a little bit of like a sassy pose? But I would never be, obviously my brothers follow me, obviously my mom follows me, obviously like I have a boyfriend that I want to respect me. So I'm weary and I think of those things, but I'm just as guilty as wanting to feel sexy, and I feel like I've fallen into that I have to start looking like this girl and posting things like her or doing things like her, and by no means does her moral compass need to be like my moral compass. We all follow the beat of our own drum, and I don't know how she was raised. I don't know what she's gone through, vice versa. I'm not judging her. I'm just saying, if my little boy were to see that picture, or my boyfriend, I would feel very uncomfortable because of the way that picture made me feel. And I don't bad for the other team. I don't judge people who do. I'm just saying, even after seeing that picture for me, I was like, what are you putting out in the world? What are you wanting the world to think of you? Do you want the world to think that you're physically fit, or what are you asking the world to look at you as? And it's just so frustrating as a woman to try to keep the balance of sexy and smart and classy and modest and valuable when there's all this other clutter sometimes that can be tempting for us women to be like, do I need to be like that? Because obviously guys like that, or do guys like that? You know, it's so confusing, and I just know I have a big demographic of little girls, younger girls following me, and I just want to put this out there. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, but you need to value yourself totally and faithfully as you can without thinking that you need to be a certain image to anybody. And I can only say that because I know I have gone through that struggle, and I know a lot of women and men face that. And I would just plead with you, please just remember that maybe one day you could have a husband, you could have a son or a daughter who looks up to the things you do, and you want them to respect you and to value you for who you are and what you have to offer, and the love and the light that you have to bring into the world. That's good. I think that too much of anything can be a bad thing. While I think girls who post pictures in their sports bras and shorts like showing their body progress, I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that's bad. But there's some people who just cross the line, who are crossing the line, and it's like, morality is morality, and the bar just keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from this video. I'm probably going to get a lot of comments that's like, well, you push the bar too, Carly. Hey, I know. I told you that from the very beginning of this video, that I know I'm just as guilty as any of you. So please just hear me out. Let's, as a community, as a whole, I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm not trying to change the way anybody thinks or feels or sways them. These are all my own personal opinions and thoughts. I guess what I'm just trying to emphasize is you don't have to feel like you have to follow the ways and the trends of the world and the things that are popular and cool to be valued or to be held on any kind of standard. If you want to be a nudist, be a nudist. If you want to show your pee hole to the world, show your pee hole to the world. I just think that sometimes we need to really evaluate the reasons why we post the things we post, we say the things we say, we act the things that we act, and that we can always take accountability for ourselves and be like, hey, that was probably inappropriate. A lot of people on my Instagram are like, well, you posted this flip cam video of yourself that was pretty risque. And it's like, I know. I posted those pictures on my Instagram. If you read the caption, all I was trying to say was, I believe in fitness. I believe pictures sometimes can hold us accountable, and my way is always like this. I'm always trying to keep the battle of finding the middle ground. And sometimes looking back at pictures of yourself, you can be like, oh, because I remember things with the way I wear. So when I look back at an outfit, I'm like, I remember I went to the gym that day, I worked really hard, I ate well, I felt really good, and I was, you know, my body was looking the way that I was working for, and, you know, to take a picture of my abs, and like I think a little bit my boobs were hanging out, and people were like, well, you showed the bottom of your boob. It's like, If I wanted to show my boobs, I would show my boobs. If I wanted to put a picture up of my boobs on the internet, I would. I wasn't trying to show a picture of my boobs. While they were hanging out a little bit, I was trying to show, like, I finally am getting abs because I have never had them in my life, and I was so proud that I had worked so hard. And I mean, at the end of this rant, I probably am coming across really feisty because I have had a lot that I've read today, and this is like the third video I've shot today, and my computer has failed, my camera has failed. Cooper didn't have school and I thought he did, so I thought I'd have more time to spend with him. So woosah, woosah, woosah. At the end of the day, we all have our own personal struggles. We all are a little bit insecure with things and aspects of our life. We all have some moral compass we need to follow, and maybe some of us need to reevaluate. I know myself, I need to constantly look at, Carly, where are you going in your life? Who do you want to be? What do you want to represent? Who are you trying to inspire? And all that I'm really asking anybody to do is just to look at the vulnerability I'm putting out there and the way I'm exposing myself, and just, I know I'm not perfect. I know I've made a lot of mistakes, and the only reason why I share them with you is in hopes of helping some of you skip the heartache and the pain that I've had to go through because of silly choices I've made, or, you know, I'm very fly by the seat of my pants. But at the end of the day, I'm really finding out now who I am, who I want to be, what I stand for, and I can't deny that. I can't deny the things that I know in my heart, and I just really hope and pray that I can inspire others to follow who they are, no matter if it's a popular choice or if it's what all the kids are doing or saying is cool. Really, you have to listen to that, like, small inner voice inside of you saying, this is the path you need to go on, these are the choices you need to make. And loving our bodies and loving who we are, it's not always easy. It's really difficult, and I feel like it's going to be a journey. It's always going to be a battle. If you struggle with it now, you'll probably struggle with it your whole life. But don't rely on anybody else to make you feel valued or loved. You really have to adopt that mentality for yourself and just work on it a day at a time. And February, I'm really excited. February 1st, I have a video coming out that I'm super excited to share with you guys. It's all about love in the month of February. So thank you for staying through this through Monday's rant. I know I was crazy and I was a little feisty and fierce, and I think I said the vagina word. Did you? I said, yeah, I said that. So I'm so sorry about that, but I warned you. I warned you it was going to be crazy and honest, but that's just who I am. So I love you, every single one of you who have been there here from the start. You know this is coming from a good place. There's no other place that I'm really meaning it to come from. If I've offended any of you, I've offended you. I'm sorry, but let's make this world a better place. That's all that matters. There's so much negativity already. Let's just make it a positive thing and not show our pee holes to the world. Let's try not to. Unless you're having a live birth, and then I'll watch your kids for you.